2007, considered one of the greatest years in gaming with releases like Bioshock, Halo 3, Uncharted Drake's Fortune, and of course, the start of RPG greatness with a new title coming from Bioware and Microsoft, Mass Effect. This game was the beginning of something new for role-playing games, a voice protagonist that you can determine how he or she acts with a system similar to Bioware's Light and Dark Side from Knights of the Old Republic, the Paragon and Renegade system. Fast forward 5 years with the release of Mass Effect 3. To say this game was polarizing is an understatement. The ending of this game created a controversy so big that it forever changed Bioware as a studio and a developer. Again, we fast forward another 5 years with the release of Mass Effect Andromeda. To distance themselves from Mass Effect 3, we now jump into the dark unknown with a whole new galaxy to explore and squad mates to do it with. We kick things off in Andromeda by waking up and having some coffee.
Caffeine always did make me jumpy.
Pretty familiar stuff so far, until humanity's arc collides with a massive space anomaly that seems to have affected the Golden Worlds that were primed for settling down and setting up some real estate. That, along with first contact with a new hostile alien race, and things aren't going too well. The main story thread in this game is to find the remaining arcs and pathfind your way to some new planets to colonize. On one hand, this feels like a good departure in setting and tone for Mass Effect, but at every turn, Andromeda feels like it's retreading old ground and can't seem to find a way to distance itself from the original trilogy. We have a Citadel wannabe with the Nexus, and another long-dead civilization that's left some pretty high tech around. Now, given that Bioware went through the trouble of taking the series to a new galaxy with a fresh start, we only get 2 new alien races and 1 cluster to explore. This makes the whole galaxy seem barren and lifeless, and they're saving the rest of it for either DLC or a sequel. Now, bringing this around to our new protagonists, Scott or Sarah Ryder, you choose which sibling you play while the other kind of takes a back seat. Now, following one of the greatest RPG playable characters of all time with Shepard, young Ryder has some pretty big N7 combat boots to fill. Starting off with the character creator, you can stick with the derpy default faces, or join the CC underworld and make some hideous creature, or even a somewhat decent looking fellow or lady, even with the Downgrade from Inquisition's character creator. Overall, Ryder is a very likable and well voice acted character who, no matter how hard I tried, couldn't stop picturing Nolan North voicing my male Ryder.
Wow, that's some laser focus.
Yeah? Was it too much? Some people get intimidated.
We need that sort of drive. I just hope I can keep up.
Starting with the first few dialogue choices, you're quick to realize that there is no more Paragon and Renegade options, instead going with the Dragon Age 2 system where you choose emotional responses. You can make Ryder to be a calm and collected soldier, all the way to a sarcastic smartass, always cracking one-liners on his adventure. Damn it, Drake, he's always in my head, he's gotta go away. You, of course, need a new ship to explore this galaxy, so welcome to the welcome to the Tempest. After grabbing all Milky Way aliens and one of the newbie Andromedians, I can honestly say that I was more fond of this crew than most in Mass Effect 1. Now, people gloss this over, but Tali and Gareth weren't as developed until Mass Effect 2 came around, so it took 2 games for them to really hit their stride. In this, we have, the the female Turian, Vetra, who is your combo Tali Garrus squad mate, Cora, your new Miranda, PB, your new piece of trash, Liam, who isn't half bad, your new Dr. Chakwa's Asari, Lexi, and a Krogan who, dare I say, honestly gives Rex a run for his money as my favorite Krogan. Last, we get our new alien, Angaran, Jal, who obviously gets the most development and has become one of my most liked squad mates in the series. Now, the dialogue doesn't feel very Mass Effect-y most of the time, but all are extremely well voice acted, with the exception of a scene or two. Like sometimes the voice actors for Cora just seem bored reading some of her lines, but then again, I would be too if I had to keep talking about Sarissa's manuals.
Memorized all your battle manuals. Remember Sarissa's manuals.
Now everyone who plays Mass Effect, or has at least heard of the game, wants to know where the pretty good banging is, and who is bangable. And the sexy scenes are actually kind of sexy this time. We have some actual nudity in it, and it seems the Asari have gained nipples in cryosleep, which is always a plus. It's basically softcore SFM porn, and I will never look back. Bring on some more of this, Bioware. Now, let's delve into the gameplay portion, and why it's a good and a bad thing. The combat is almost like a sweet high five that when you go for the down low, they pull away and yell, "Too slow," in your face. The general gunplay, mobility, and versatility, and the numerous gun and power options really make this game's combat shine, especially in multiplayer. The new profile system is nice for those who like to invest in powers in the 3 different categories, instead of choosing just one like the Trilogy. You got combat, biotics, and tech. All 3 are fun to use and mix and match in combat. However, in single player, your squad is completely worthless and do nothing but shoot walls and get in your way. Besides Drac, who is basically your tanky bullet sponge, and on Insanity I took him everywhere with me. The fact you no longer have a power wheel is odd, and the lack of controlling when your squad mates use their powers means you have to rely on the intelligence of the AI, which is never a good thing. Now, the inventory and quest system at first look very daunting, but you'll get used to it pretty quickly and you'll never look back. The scanning mechanic is sometimes fun, sometimes annoying. Having to pull it out all the time to scan for like resources and research materials sucks, but using it to solve mysteries like on the Tempest can be quite rewarding. Now, back to these explorable planets. Driving around the Nomad is extremely fun, but most of the side quests are uninspired busy work. Go here, kill this, go here, collect this new plant, rock, etc. Some stand out, especially the snow planet Vold. I did everything I could in this game, every side quest and task, everything on the insane difficulty, and it took me around the 80 to 90 hour mark. This is a bit too long for me, when the original Trilogy games were each around the 45, 50, at the 50 hour mark, and that was a pretty sweet length. And that's if you did all the DLC and all the quests on the insane difficulty. So half of this game feels like padding, but it still never got to the point where I wanted to stop playing. Now, this is my 3rd Andromeda quote-unquote review, so to speak, so I will quickly say here that I still hate traveling from system to system and planet to planet because of the long animations the game throws at you every damn time you want to go explore somewhere. Also, the lack of music. I don't just mean the lack of music while exploring the planets, I mean like the lack of any music. There's almost none in Andromeda. Unless my game was glitched out and I barely heard anything aside from the new galaxy map music, I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Now, before the dun 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 badoom tsh review score, let's talk about the controversy surrounding this game. Bad facial animations, downgraded graphics from the original Trilogy, and glitches and bugs galore. Now, the facial animations never bothered me that much, but there were some bugs that annoyed me. One specific armor kept bugging out on me. Drac's loyalty quest had some hilarious broken cutscenes, but it also caused my game to freeze multiple times, so I stopped laughing real fast. T-poses on characters here and there, and the Ryder siblings completely missing from certain cutscenes. Now, before this video drags too long, I'll be impressed if you made it this far into the poorly edited review I put together after work. To me, this game is about an 8. I know, really, even after all I listed that was wrong with it, I still enjoy the hell out of this game. The multiplayer is addicting, and I love the new characters and voice actors who did a good job taking over from Mark Meer and Jennifer Hare. This game could definitely use some polish, that's for sure, but so do Bethesda games, and they always get a pass from reviewers, so there's a definite double standard in critics' reviews. I still recommend this game to any Mass Effect fan, and even if you're not a fan, I still hope you give this game a chance to see it's really not as bad as everyone is saying it is. Mass Effect became the saga it is now over time, not with the first game. Andromeda sure isn't better, but it sure isn't worse. The exploration and combat are pretty good, the story is alright, and the characters are likable. Give this game a try.